Hey, it's Nikki from My Healthy Beginning, and I've got a question for you. Why would you want a protein powder? And as I'm saying this, I'm realizing like the bone broth poster is behind me. Um, so that's a question we get in here a lot as we are testing our clients on their design clinical nutrition programs. People ask us about, you know, the I guess the common thread, the things I hear people saying is like, oh, we're supposed to have a ton of protein, we're supposed to have a high protein diet. And yeah, I mean, more protein than not is better, but a high protein diet isn't necessarily the best for everybody. You have to take into consideration like what are your other components? You know, what else are you plugging into your diet? And the bone broth protein powder actually is just one of the protein powders we carry here. But that seems to be one of those debatable conversations too, much like every other nutrition topic on the planet. So I'm just going to give you some feedback from my perspective. I think protein powders are super convenient. I think there are some that are better than others. I think that they're fine for people big and small, depending upon the quality. I think they're super helpful. I think in our busy go-to rush, run around crazy town kind of world we live in, it's a really helpful way of getting whole foods in. And I know, some people are really of the conversation of, well, I don't want to drink my calories or my nutrients or whatever. And I say, well, why not? Right? People juice, you're getting your nutrients that way too. Your smoothie, you're getting your nutrients that way too. So I don't think it's a big deal to get your protein that way either. And it has more than, I can only speak for myself, right? Yes, it helps a ton of our clients, but I can only speak in how it works well for my family. And we've used protein powders over the years. And yes, they have evolved. Like what we used to use and what we use now has really, truly evolved. And we certainly have our favorites. And I love how I feel on them. So I know that protein powders help me to get a little more protein in, even if I'm not, if I don't have a super big appetite for protein or really anything in the moment. It's helpful for me on the go, right? I can make a protein shake and kind of turn it into a smoothie and add anything I want and drink it on my way into the office, or actually slurp on it for part of the morning and have it gone by mid morning. And it's sustainable. It tastes good. It's easy to travel with. For example, I travel with our protein powders a lot. I just bring a blender bottle and I'll make up, I don't want to travel with like a big plastic container that the protein powders come in. So I'll usually just take a small bag or a small container with the scoop, and then I scoop in and allow myself, 1 or 2 shakes per day when I'm traveling. Sometimes I do too on a travel day. It's easier on my stomach. My stomach doesn't always want to, and bowels don't always want to function properly when I'm traveling. It's just stressful. So that always is a good, easy to digest way of having me feel full, and then also, more importantly, getting me the nutrients that I need for the day. So those are the ways that it benefits me. And I know even in my postpartum time frame, I've shared with some of you before, my babies, my 2 girls nursed until they were almost 3. Our little guy is 19 months and showing no signs of stopping. And I don't necessarily want to stop that either. It's just really great for the both of us. Though I will say, once I hit that 13 or 14 month, once the kiddos are 13 or 14 months old, I notice a flip-flop, like in my body composition. My body fat gets really high, and I know I don't look like a person whose body fat is really high, but my body fat gets really high, and I drop a lot of muscle. And now that it's happened 3 times, I'm like, oh, okay, note to self, this is just how my body works around, postpartum recovery and kind of getting my body back, if you will. And it's my aha, well, and actually it happened around 9 months with my second daughter, now that I think about it. But anyway, it's just my my reminder that I need to get more protein in than I am getting, and I need to get some healthy fats in to really help, just to help my body really function properly and not feel so foggy from the lack of sleep and the things that occur inside of postpartum. And so a protein powder is really, really helpful for me. So not only will I eat like sun butter by the spoonful, but adding in a second shake, even if I'm not hungry, or replacing it as a snack in the afternoon, is really, really helpful. And I've noticed, let's see, probably January, February, this is the end of March, I would say it took about 8 to 10 weeks, and it was just like, bam, I saw the shift in my body fat. My clothes fit better. I dropped about 5 or 6 pounds and didn't necessarily feel like I had the weight to lose, but something shifted, right? So I just felt so much better, and I went, oh, okay, now I'm back. Now I feel really good. So that is just one of the many, many ways that a protein powder is beneficial, for me. I will say our kids drink them, not maybe even one a day, but certainly a handful of them per week, 3, 4 of them per week. My husband now does a shake almost every day, and he's more of like a powder in water or almond milk, shake it in a blender bottle, drink it, on his way to work or out the way out the door, or before a hockey game or after a hockey game. That's when he will plug that in. And our little guy, since he did, the purification program, if you will, modified with me because I did it, we plugged in the SP Complete chocolate or vanilla every morning, and he just wanted my shake. And then I thought, well, what am I doing? There's no reason why he can't have this. It's just like perfectly fine for him, and he tests fine for all the foods, the rice powder and the whey protein powder that are in there. And he does really well with it, and that's how he starts his day. And often he'll have like one, and then he'll have half of one, and I'll just pop it back in the fridge, and he'll finish it later in the day. So almost always he will have one. And there are the occasional times, like right now he's cutting these back molars, and he's kind of a bear to be living with. He's picky. He eats like a bird, and sometimes he'll even go on a nursing strike for a little bit, like, I don't want any of this, and then he'll suddenly nurse like a lion, right? And he doesn't want to eat a lot of food, so he'll have like a shake, and then he'll nurse. And I just know he's getting like his bottom line nutrition needs met, because I can add anything I want, right? I can add hemp seeds, and I can add sun butter, and I can add coconut oil, and I can add kale. I can add anything I want to it. So for me, it's a really powerful way of getting those nutrients into my little dude that I know he needs. Now, the question of like, what protein powder are we using? So I know for a while there we were using dynamic paleo protein, which is a grass-fed beef protein. I was really reluctant, to be honest with you, to try it because grass-fed beef protein powder just did not sound good to me. However, it completely proved me wrong. I really do like it. It's stevia sweetened. It works really well. And we've stopped getting that so much of the time because one of the kids doesn't do super well with stevia. And so we have just been using SP Complete, which is the standard process protein powder. Now, the SP Complete unflavored actually has more protein for less scoops. I think it's 23 grams of protein, maybe for 2 tablespoons. And then the SP Complete vanilla or chocolate, I want to say maybe about half the protein and like 4 tablespoons. But it still holds me the same. So I just love that. It's clean and it's easy. And I will say that even though they're rice protein and whey protein based together for the SP Complete, for most people who are testing as grain intolerant and dairy intolerant, they test really well for SP Complete, and they do really well on it, and it does good things for them. So I'm really pleased with that. And it helps to clear some of their foods, if they're doing kind of a quasi purification program and just really eating clean, that really does help. Now, Nutridyne makes a really great dynamic health drink, they call it, and if I remember correctly, that comes in vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. And for those of you who might not know, if you're looking for some of these protein powders, specifically dynamic paleo protein, which is chocolate vanilla, and the dynamic health drink from Nutridyne, which is strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate, we actually have a buying program that allows you to create an account underneath us online, and that would give you access to those products at 20% off all the time. More of a discount than I could give you here in the practice, so that's just something to keep in mind. Feel free to shoot us an email, info@myhealthybeginning.com. We could get you set up with that in a heartbeat. And so I'll just touch quickly too on the bone broth protein. So that is a super great option if you are anti making bone broth because of time or whatever, or it's intimidating to you, or you're on the go and you're like the jet setter and you need to add something in like that. Now, the vanilla protein, bone broth protein powder, I tasted. I did not like it. Doesn't mean you won't like it. Other people do. But there are a number of flavors. There's turmeric, there's greens, there's coffee, there is chocolate, there's pure, which is the one if you reconstitute it, it's like, pure bone broth. And so that's on my list of things to try. And I know people are picking that up sometimes at like a Whole Foods or a co-op or something like that too. And we can certainly order in any flavor you're interested along those lines too. And that also, we've got the bone broth cookbook, and we just give that away anytime somebody buys a canister of the bone broth protein powder. So that gives you a few different options in terms of protein powders and why people might use them and how, how they're integrating them into their diets. Again, some are looking for weight loss, some are looking for a meal replacement, some are just on the go, and so they're looking for something convenient. I often coach my clients who are kind of I don't eat breakfast, I'm not hungry in the morning, I don't want, their just digestion is completely messed up, they have no appetite. So they're starving for minerals and protein, and it's like thing that they don't want, like the thing that they need is the thing they don't want. And so we find like a shake is really a helpful way of getting them into the habit of getting something in within that first hour of the morning, helping them feel really great, boosting their energy throughout the day. They find they don't get that slump later in the afternoon, and then they find that that sugar brain doesn't turn on after dinner and before bedtime where they feel like, munch. They need all these little extra goodies to kind of tide them over through the night. So any questions, feel free to comment below. Feel free to shoot us an email, info@myhealthybeginning.com. Don't forget to like us over on Facebook under My Healthy Beginning, or give us a call here at the office, 612-418-3801, so we can answer any questions that you may have. Thanks for joining me.